Welcome, fight fans, to episode 104 of the Hooks In MMA podcast. We're back, baby, and we've got UFC 313 kicking off this weekend out at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We're back with Easy Line so we can get ahead of that book and meet you at the cashier Saturday night. Z-Balls, do you want to kick things off with a high-level summary before we get into the prelims, into the main card?
Yeah, no, just completely excited about this card. Obviously, there's a lot of great matchups. Excited to see Pereira, classic Justin Gaethje as well. Yeah, just excited for this pay-per-view. Looks like it's not blowing me away per se, but definitely some great matchups and better than the last pay-per-view. Excited to get into it.
Beauty. Well, we're going to shout out Hooks and alum first off. Alex, the Great White Shark Morano, is on the prelims. He's a UFC veteran, 24 and 11, facing off against Carlos Neal. And the reason I wanted to shout this out is both because the Great White Shark is alum, but also he's a massive, heavy underdog. I think there's some hidden value here at this plus 500 number on Bet365. 6 to 1 odd seems like a pretty good bet for going up against the guy who's never won in the UFC. Obviously, Leal did have a great kind of career before the UFC and the PFL and LFA, but obviously, the names that he's fought in strength of schedule is nowhere near Alex Morono. If you go into some of his background, right, he's fought, Nico Price, Tim Means, even Cowboy Cerrone, Pettis. So some really tough competition there that I think he'll use his experience, and I think it'll be a closer fight than what the odds are showing. So that's just a little underdog value that I'm going to highlight. But I know Z-Ball's got an analysis teed up here which I believe is the featured prelim bout, which is Blades versus Kaneev. So Z-Balls, kick us off there.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows Curtis Blades. He's been the UFC perennial kind of contender here in the heavyweight for a few years now. He's taking on a new UFC, like his first UFC fight, Rizvan Kanuyev. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm personally taking another underdog here. Actually, surprisingly, to start us off, I am taking Rizvan plus 275. Blades, I think his chin has gotten a little soft at this point. It keeps on, every fight, unfortunately, gets a little bit more diminished, a little bit more diminished. He's gone against some huge punchers and got knocked out. I think that chin's going to be a little bit of a problem within this fight. Rizvan is a good wrestler himself, although obviously more of that Russian, more Dagestani chain wrestling type style as opposed to Curtis Blades, which is more American. But I think because they're heavyweights, there's not going to be any easy way for Blades to take him down. They're going to end up against the fence, and against the fence is much better for that kind of Russian chain wrestling. And Rizvan will be able to kind of get himself out of trouble. And so I think Rizvan's going to pull off the upset here. That's what I'm calling. At least that's I'm seeing value on the plus 275. Again, first fight in the UFC, so you never know, but I do like that value. I think he's going to be able to upset and do a second round TKO, second round finish on the Bet 365 right now. Let's see. Let's just check that very quickly. Is a
Plus 16.
plus 1600. So, yeah, that
That's
is
pretty wild.
absolutely lovely. A value right there. Even him by finish KO, TKO plus 700. But again, like it's you'd rather maybe just take the long shot for this one because I'm taking the underdog here. But yeah. What are you thinking, Kronz? What do you have
I
anything,
like the
any comments?
value. Yeah, I like the value of the dog here. I think this one does go a little longer than maybe the odds suggest. The one that caught my eye was the bet boost for Kuniev over 1.5 rounds at plus 500. I think that could hit. Hopefully that finish comes in the end of the second round. So we're both winners there. But seriously, I could see this one even going to the scorecards.
Yeah,
So it might even be worth sprinkling on that by decision plus 650.
yep, I
Um,
like that too.
if you're not sure about judges, because we all know how kind of wacky the scoring can get, you could simply just go on fight to go the distance at plus 135. That I think is a pretty safe bet that I think is actually more than a coin flip. probability to happen. So there could be some hidden expected value there. So no, should be a good fight to round out the prelims, and we can slide right into the main card, which is starting with Bobby Green and Mauricio Huffy.
Well, to correct you, it's King Green now.
King
I'm taking,
Green, yes,
yeah.
formerly
Well,
known as Bobby.
exactly, exactly. So, but you know what? You can't just be changing your name to Kane unless you actually are Kane. Like that's a little too much for me, and I believe it's a bad matchup for Kane here. He's going to get finished, I believe. UFC unfortunately using him as a stepping stone here for Ruffy. Green is kind of on his way out, close to retirement. Ruffy TKO plus 105 earlier on, first or second round. That's what I'm looking for here myself. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't like Green's chances either here. But similar to the last one, I think this would go to the judges' scorecard. Obviously, Green's got the veteran kind of, and also the grit. He definitely lays his heart out there in the octagon. So I do like that plus 130 fight. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that is the right one. Yeah, plus 130 fight to go to the distance. That's kind of my pick. I just don't really see like too much value on the minus there taking Huffy. I just unless you're parlaying it, I would probably stay away from that as a single bet. And then looking at maybe more of the props, him by
Yep,
decision plus 187 looks pretty good.
yep, yep,
Um, and then let's see, he also has a boost here. Huffy money line, most significant strikes landed, and then over 100 significant strikes landed. If it's a high output fight, I think that could hit, and plus 450 is nice kind of value there. So, yeah, I'm going to stick to more of those versus going straight pick 'em. But
oh
um,
yeah,
I do think he gets his arm raised, and yeah, I think Bobby's or King is kind of on his way out. He's
yeah.
getting up there in age, right? He's almost 40 years old. So
Yeah. And he relies on his hands down, his like reflexes and things like that. And that's gonna spell a problem for him, I think, in this fight for sure. So
yeah,
yeah.
I'm even looking tail the tape, right? 10 years younger, Huffy. He's also taller. He's also got reach advantage. He seemingly has everything uh, going for him here,
Yeah.
and also the momentum on the nice win streak. Okay. So I'm locked up a little bit here. We'll go back to the main card. We've
Yeah.
got Lemos and Lucindo as
Yeah.
our next fight of the night. Who are you picking here?
So for this one, I'm taking Lemos. I'm taking a very slight underdog at plus 110. But I think she's the obviously more powerful punches. Lucinda, like or Lucindo, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but well, I do know her only way to kind of victory here is to take her down and kind of lay and pray. But I don't think she's going to be able to execute that at least long enough. I think Lemos is going to be able to land bigger punches and she's going to be able to win via damage, basically, in a decision. So Lemos, I like to win off damage, basically decision plus 225 for me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize how young Lucindo is. She's only 23 years old. So it's kind of wild to see a pro fighter there with over 20 fights and not even 25 years old. So she's been active. So kudos to her. But yeah, that's the only thing that really sticks out to me here. It's like a 14-year age gap. Um, so maybe it is a closer one going to decision, but that odd isn't that great. It's minus 235. So I might just fade this one entirely. But yeah, if I really had a gun to my head to pick, I definitely siding with Lemos here, just purely due to her, kind of experience, and she's just fought a tougher cast of characters. Looking
And
at
just
some,
pure value too. Like if you look at like
yep,
decision Amanda plus 225, Usman is plus 125. Like so I think it's more of a 50-50 type of fight in that decision. So let's go that plus 225. Put a unit on that one, or even put a half unit, hit the bond, and just like get excited for the one woman's fight that's on the card. So I think that's the
yeah.
best way to do it.
And what's kind of crazy, I just realized too, just a little pattern here, but this fight onwards, everything's basically a coin flip. are
Yeah,
almost
really
all
good
even
matches.
odds, which is, as a viewer, you don't know what's going to happen. We don't see these like, minus 1200 kind of
Exactly.
heavy favorites. So, makes it a little tougher from a betting perspective, but also a little more live. So, yeah,
Exactly.
really excited for the rest of these. So let's slide
Yeah.
into Jalen Turner and Bahamondes. This should be a banger. Both these guys are
Yeah, yeah.
brawlers.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome striking, and I am taking Ignacio here at minus 138. I think that's good to take alone, even for a unit if you want. This it's a going to be an obvious striking matchup, high kicks, lots of long range punches, but Turner is not used to going against someone that's also 6'3", the same as him. He had problems against Dan Hooker, who's also a very lengthy lightweight, and I think he's going to have a lot of problems with Ignacio here as well. Ignacio kicks will make the difference, will be the difference maker here. Leg kicks, the head kicks. Turner, I don't think has ever faced anyone that could ever leg or head kick him before. Now he does have to go against someone that can head kick him. So I see Ignacio winning here by, it's tough to say exactly. I'm going to go by decision though, plus 240. I think that looks nice for me.
Yeah, no, me too. My official pick on this one's going to be the over 2.5 rounds. It's plus 100. I'm gonna kind of take that one just to hedge on some crazy fireworks at the end of the third round. Um, but I do think it's a competitive fight. It's gonna go back and forth. I do think Turner's gonna come out of the gate kind of fast and heavy, but as you mentioned, he did have two split decision losses in a row to Gamrot and Hooker, and I used to be really high on him. Like, we're talking a couple years ago during COVID, he was kind of the up and comer, but he's had three losses in his last five. And yeah, just seems to have lost a step. So
Yeah.
definitely thinking Ignacio gets his hand raised at the end of this one. But yeah, going to lean to the over.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it's definitely a pick 'em fight here. Turner's gone against extremely tough competition, as you said there. So, he does extremely well against that middle range. Now he's up against the top one. So he's not going against an absolute proven killer in Ignacio. So like these odds kind of make sense to me. So definitely a close even fight. I like it.
Right on. So now sliding into the co-main, we've got one of the most exciting fighters on the UFC roster in Gaston Gaethje, going off against one of your kind of up-and-comer guys from a couple years ago,
Yep.
Fiziev, who same sort of thing as Turner. He looked to be the next best kind of top contender, but then suffered two losses in a row, one coming to Gaethje there by decision, and then obviously getting hurt against Gamrot. This one I think might be, well, this and the main card are my two favorite matchups of the night. But yeah, who are you thinking here?
Yeah, so for this one, I am taking Fiziev here, but not as a homer pick as much. I do believe he is better than Justin Gaethje at this point, at least compared to their first fight from 2 years ago. I think that at this point in Justin Gaethje's career, that Max Holloway fight just took a lot out of him. He's been in some wars. And that chin is just not feeling as good as it used to be, right? I know Gaethje has shown to be a warrior, but I cannot take him in at this point in his career. And whereas Fiziev, I feel like is a little bit more, he's learned his lessons. He's had kind of two hard losses or whatever. Gagey has already, kind of hit his plateau and is on his way down. Fiziev is on his way up here. So Fiziev, yeah, minus 160, not the best value there per se, but definitely, you can parlay that with Ignacio, like we said last fight, and that would be a nice little parlay. But Fiziev decision plus 225. I do like that. It's a 3 round fight. So I think Gagey will be able to last the 3 rounds. If it was 5 rounds, I'd be much, much more scary in terms of taking that. But Fiziev decision plus 225 looks good value to me.
Yeah, and if you want to go even more aggressive on that same plane, I'm seeing a boost there. Um, Raphael by money line, most significant strikes, and to go the distance at plus 325. So that could be a good one just to kind of circle on your card. I've been flip-flopping in my brain on this one all week. At first, I was leaning towards Gaethje just because I think he has the confidence of already beating this guy. But then again, him kind of going into the shadow realms against Holloway is always stuck in your mind as well. And it's an intriguing fight. I do think this one is a coin flip. You run this one 100 times and someone wins 51 times, the other guy wins 49. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put too much money, maybe sprinkle on that boost. Like I said, I could see a finish here. Not sure by who. I think either guy has that capability, but yeah, this one's just more. I'm just gonna lean back and hope for some fireworks, and even like a first round finish would be fun to see, which yeah, is also paying pretty good prop betting. Plus 750 for Gaethje first round or plus 425 for Fiziev. So yeah, can't wait for this one. All right.
Cool.
So now we're heading into the lightweight heavyweight championship of the world. We've got Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. This one is going to be a banger. Really surprised by these odds, but I want to start with your analysis and then I'm going to get into kind of where my brain's at and what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, Alex Pereira, I have no idea how he ever made middleweight division. This guy is fucking huge, even for light heavyweight. He is huge. He's like 6'5" or something. He looks bigger than Magomed, at least when they were staring down type of thing, right? So he's huge for this division, and I believe, in my opinion, his cardio is very underrated. So I'm looking for Alex to knock him out later in the later rounds. Alex has been taken down by people before, like Jan. There's someone else, I believe, as well that has taken him down. But I believe Ankalaev is going to win the first two rounds. But all of those leg kicks are going to add up for Alex, and he's going to be able, like, it's really going to slow down Magomed through the third, fourth round. He's not going to be able to, his legs won't be behind him. He won't be able to do any double leg takedowns, that sort of thing. So those leg kicks are going to add up for Alex, and he's going to be able to finish later on. So Alex minus 138. Again, good to take in a few of those parlays. As we said, those fights are kind of pick 'em fights. So you want to go Ignacio and Raphael as well. That's a good parlay to do. But Alex KO or TKO plus 125. Alex fifth round plus 1400. I'm looking for Alex for like a fourth or fifth round finish. That's what I'm leaning towards. Anything can happen, obviously. But yeah, what are you thinking here, Kronk?
All day, Alex. I do not know why these odds are so close. If I were setting this and we're blind to it, I'd be like minus 300. Alex,
Ooh, love it.
it's a
Love
homer
the
pick.
hot take.
Yeah, I love it. He's one of my favorite fighters, if not my favorite
Yeah,
in UFC today. And I've never been that impressed by Ankalaev. Like he did have those fun fights back in the day with Kutalaba, where they kind of had, I think they ran it back 3 times.
yeah,
But
yeah,
honestly, like you look at his last few fights, like Anthony Lionheart Smith, he's washed up. That's not impressive to me. Blachowicz, I thought Jan won that fight. Ankalaev was so scared. He was like not even engaging in that fight and that was actually super boring. And it was a terrible fight. Let's not even look at Johnny Walker. That was no contest. But then yeah, knocking Johnny Walker out at this point in his career isn't impressive to me. And then Rockich, that fight was boring as well. They were just kind of like rangy, like kicking each other, and it just wasn't that impressive. So
Mhm.
I don't know why he's getting this respect here, but it is what it is. So I'm going Alex all day. I like the one boost there where it's Alex by money line, more sig strikes landed, and not to go the distance. So within the 5 rounds, which kind of lines up with your,
Yep.
later round finish. And I could see this ending in the first or second round, honestly. Like Alex is so much more aggressive. He's going to come at him. He's going to blitz him. And I think he's really going to make Magomed uncomfortable. And his striking is just world class. He's an all right striker, not really a wrestler, not really a grappler. I don't really know like why. It's just bizarre to me.
Yeah,
And
fair.
maybe they're thinking, oh, like Magomed could take him down and just lay on top of him, which he could. That's Alex's gap and his weakness, but I haven't really seen that out of Magomed at least recently. I don't know if earlier in his career he was like a really good grappler and he was winning fights that way, but I haven't seen it in the UFC, so I don't really see why that would change now. And yeah, I think Pierre is just going to catch him like he has his other
Yeah.
victims here over the last five. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's just going to get the better of him. Like the guy just he's a
Yeah.
knockout machine, right?
And you just can't go against Alex right now. He's a warrior. He's
Yep.
absolutely on an absolute tear. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just he's killing everyone. Like it's just you can't go against him, especially not at like a pick 'em average like
Pro
fight. Like so
kickboxer. Like
yeah.
he's just so technical. And
Yeah.
yeah, he has all the movement, he has all the feints. I just don't really see a path for Magomed to win unless he can get him down, but that's not his strong suit. So
Yeah.
yeah, puzzled to me, but hey, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But my money's definitely going on Alex, both from a biased perspective, but also as a better, just
Yeah.
looking at what I think's going to happen. I think he gets his hand raised 90 times out of 100 in this matchup.
Love it. Love
So
it.
awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Good luck tomorrow. Enjoy the card. We're going to
Yep.
catch you the next time on episode 105, and we'll
Yep.
meet you at the cashier Saturday night. Let's get it.